Catch everything up. Is that going to stay in? Yep, I think that might stay in focus. Well, I started slightly early, so I was slurping my tea. Well, ahoy. So, just let some peeps jump on. Good. So, welcome back after the Christmas and New Year. So, Happy New Year. And here we go again. It's Friday night. We're at the Crow's Nest. And we're going to paint some. We're going to jump back onto our front rank mounted knights. It's one of the retinues for ecorcheurs. Now in the background there, you'll see that's some of the ones we did in some previous. Ahoy! Happy New Year! So I was just slurping my tea down before it goes cold. I was just nattering slowly until I get going. It's been a long day at the Crow's Nest. And a Happy New Year to you, goobs. Right. So we go. So we fought. So these were the ones we did in previous videos, as you guys remember. I found the tray of them yesterday and I thought, oh, I must get round to finishing them. So that's what I thought we'd do. Now I just realised I don't know where I put the shields. So we're going to do them without the shields tonight, and I'll have the shields on at a later date. But never mind. Let's get busy. Let's start with gunmetal. Yeah, these are those sexy front rank knights from Gripping Beast. I like them a lot. So, start off with my slightly ruined brush, because obviously I paint metallic, and you should always paint metallic with slightly ruined brush. Unless, of course, you've got no other choice, i.e. you need to paint something. Yeah. Some sort of detail. And you've got no choice, really. If you've got a choice, use a slightly crapped up brush. So yeah, I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year. Yes, we had Stargrave gifted to us for Christmas, so we'll start doing some Stargrave, and see, I've got Frostgrave. I should imagine that will get an outing. The new year of task my son on doing more videos for Pirate Rich Plays. So we did a couple of games yesterday. We played Warhammer Quest Cursed City, and we played Zombies, because why wouldn't you? And we're going to start down the path of doing some Age of Magic. Which would be groovy. So anyone else do any, did you get any hobby Christmas presents? A couple of guys have some hobby Christmas present money, and they came to see me, and I helped them spend it on some Griffin Beast Picts, and what was the thing? Or some John's Vikings, and I think there was some fancy stuff from Athena Miniatures. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about forgetting the shorts. I don't think I'll get these both done tonight. So I think there's 4 more after this for the retinue. This is the retinue that was sold on the Kickstarter, on the ecorcheurs Kickstarter. So, yeah. Trying to catch up with some of the obviously with the move and stuff. I'm still way behind schedule. Oh, cool. So just adding a little bit of medium. Do the gunmetal just to make it run into the chainmail a bit better. So yeah, all good fun. Mm. I do like painting it. I was talking to somebody earlier on about the front rank miniatures, and it's very hard. Some miniatures are that good they almost paint themselves, you know. And I think the front ranks definitely fall into that. It's nice and quiet at the crow's nest. So let's get this gunmetal on so it can be drying, ready for the wash. There we go. Right, let's get a nice. Ooh. Let's start with a carnelian skin. Which is very deep reddish brown. Get a slight to nicer brush. That's medium. And away we go. So we're using the Arm Painter Fanatics range. doing what was the last commission? Oh yeah, I've done 2 Saga warbands. Scots and John's Vikings. I do like the John's Vikings miniatures. I think them and the Pagan Rest are my favourites to paint. Although the Scots had fun with this. Yeah. What else have I done? Today, well, the last couple of days, I've been doing some 40k Raven wings on their funky motorbikes. They're nearly finished. I'll grab one in a minute, show you. That's if you want to see. Yeah, it's the problem with the 3D resin printers, isn't it? There's go somewhere kind of to do it. It just doesn't matter if it stinks the place out. And I think in a certain degree, I think after a couple of my mates that do 3D printing, it's a hobby in its own right, isn't it? We'll do these horses the same colour because obviously they're going to be different to those horses. It's just a certain degree is how we speed things up on the batch paint front. So even though we're only doing 2 at a time, we're still kind of batch painting. The filament printers are coming on now as well, aren't they? So the customer does prints buildings and stuff, and the printer he's got is top of the range filament printers, and it's nearly as good as the resin, which praise me. That's another reason, Coops, why I'm staying put a bit. I'm just rubbish at things like that. I would definitely sit there without a mask on, and somebody would come into the room and find my corpse. So, it's my lovely family. When I got up here, they've bought me a nice spray booth because I just used to spray without a mask, etc., which you should not do. But now I've got a nice little spray booth. All the nastiness goes out into the filters, which is good. Just laying down this carnelian sin. Medium going in. Tis your friend. If I could say one thing that sort of changed my painting, and I was offering it as a piece of advice, would be to use that medium. Yeah, good shout, Jay. Yeah, somebody offered me a printer for the crow's nest, and I thought, well, I can't have it up here. And people up here as well. There we go. I think we do Basilisk Red. Let's do a red horse. Well, red. Basilisk Red is going to be our undercoat. It's a very purpley based red. Yeah, I was saying about the medium being my game changer moment, really. And I use a wet palette, but in fairness, if you're using medium properly, you really need the wet palette. It's handy. But if you said to me, I can use one or the other, I'd have the medium every day. Yeah. It does work well as a base colour for the red. Uh, I did. I painted the because I tend to stick to the Griffin Beast miniatures on here because they sponsor me by sending me the miniatures and stuff. I did paint their sci-fi range. Get some more in onto. I was going to grab some of the World War One stuff. I'll give him a shout tomorrow. I think I've done all their sci-fi range. What's there? But I could do some on Pirate Rich Plays at some point. I'll do a paint along on there or something. You're Stargrave, aren't you, G? Sorry, Frostgrave, isn't it? Let's see. I've got these guys here. Have a quick look. These are the ones I've been working on today. Oh, it's a bit harsh on that white. Do-do-do-do-do. Vroom, vroom. There's 6 of these, I think. Yeah. They're all fairly similar. Chonkies. I've got the boss guide to start tomorrow. He's over here. Ready to do. What else did I do this week? Yeah, I painted Dave from Heresy Miniatures, Dave the Slayer. It's jolly good fun. I think that's all it's in grabbing distance. Just take this jacket off because it's getting a bit noisy. These guys are painting next. Yeah, so I do have to do a lot of spacey stuff. Right, where was I? Yeah, so I'm going to do him red. Let's do 2 red ones because we've got 2 yellow ones. Let's do them very different. Let's do his Tamard. Sorry, Surcoat. That was the live role player of me coming out. Everything was tabard. Drop of red on it. Yeah. I've not seen that one. It'd be like pod racing, wouldn't it? I'll tell you what I did find. Yeah, when I was moving to here, I found the rules I cut out of a White Dwarf many years ago for full tilt. And then in another box, I found all the cards and the actual tilt itself that come in the magazine is a bit squashed. I'm going to have to get around to, I think I'm going to have to deassemble it and flatten it all out. Might even photocopy and remake it all. Because it's fairly squashed, as you can imagine. But these guys would be great for it. Yeah. So this is where we use a fairly same palette, but we're going to make them look very different. Because we've got a few lights, you have to although for using jet bike, surely you could use something like gas lands or something like that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty cool using sort of very simple rules sometimes, isn't it? Just sometimes you just want to chuck some miniatures on the table and have a laugh. It's a bit like that zombies game we played. It's just so much fun. And games like that, I think they're best played without thinking. If you start thinking, it slows the game down, doesn't it? Oh yeah, returned off. You're right. It's got to be in it. That was a classic scene, wasn't it? I suppose the pod racers is really trying to recapture some of that, isn't it? Really. Pew pew pew. we go. So now, whilst that's drying, we're going to grab our black wash, which is this is kind of watered down dark tone, basically, or watered down neon oil, anything like that. I think this is a mixture of that and some black ink and some medium, basically. So it's a little bit lighter. But if you're using the army paint dark tone, be careful because it's very, very dark. So maybe put a bit of medium in it. Or be careful with it. As you can tell, I didn't really go careful with washes, so I wore mine down. I like it a bit watery, so when we're hitting the chainmail, it happily goes into the links. Doing the chainmail the other way. There's a bit of red there, so I'll go back, fill that in a sec. I don't mind if the armour looks a bit dark after this stage, so I like to go back in and add a bit of silver to pick out the highlights. So if anything, I want it a little bit dark. Again, using a brush that is getting near to being in the bin, because washes will kill your brush in the same way as speed paint does, and metallic paint does. So if you had nice posh brushes for Christmas, look after them, save them for painting the best bits, and save your old brushes for painting the rough bits. And your new brush will thank you for it. Oh no. Well, I hope you get better soon, mate. There is an awful lot of lurgy about at the moment, isn't there? Ahoy! How's it going? Okay, let's do the next shade of the horsies, which is Tiger Eye Skin. Unblock the top of that. There we go. Go back to our more decent brush. That's even a word. And a new cabinet delivered for the crow's nest today, which is quite exciting. From my friends at Fina Miniatures. And thanks for that. Nice little lights. It's a nice glass cabinet with nice little lights, so we can put our fanciest treasures in that one. So we're just filling the out with the medium now, just hitting the pardon me. Even the darkest recesses of that reddish brown. You've been banished. Well, it's for the best, Rich. You'd have been out of your depth, in fairness. It's safer here. Just work back round. Just leaving that original brown in the most shaded bits. So I'm not going right up to any strapping. I'm not making sure I don't go right underneath anywhere where there's anything that's a shadow being thrown, so it's like that chainmail there. There we go. I think we're going to go topaz skin. I'm going to be quite sparing of this because it's quite a light colour. But we're going to water it down with our medium. I'm just looking for tips anywhere. Remember, it will dull down a bit as it dries. If it doesn't, don't panic. If something's a little bit light, don't panic. Let it dry. You can make a wash. Blend it back in. Okay. So what we can do with this one, because we've used that ready brown, is when it's dry, if that blend isn't going to work, we can just drop a bit of little flash wash on there. Don't forget your towel. Don't forget your towel. That could be two things now, can't it? Depends on your age. That's either Hitchhikers, isn't it, or South Park. Next, we're going to go Wyvern Fury. Which is our next one to this guy. So now we're going to go down the high parts. We won't go right in against the saddle there because it's a bit shadowy. Going down the peaks, the valleys. About zoomed in enough because I thought that was quite a nice. I've got the stand set better tonight. Medium flowing. Ah, Hitchhikers. What a great. See, the newer film, I even like that. I know it's completely different. Now for something completely different. Is it Alan Rickman plays Marvin, doesn't he? What? What awesome. What a truly amazing actor, Alan Rickman. God rest his soul. Best sheriff of Nottingham ever. Most mediocre version of Robin Hood ever. Films are always saved by the baddies. I was talking to my son about this. It's the Batman movies work with Heath Ledger because he was such a good Joker. The others fall flat because it's only as good as the villain. remember watching the early Spider-Man cartoons, and we just like, who's going to fight this week? That's all we were interested in. Oh yeah, Hans Gruber. Every year in it. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it? Who cares? It's a good movie. What about him in Galaxy Quest? I love the end of the bit where his head mask thing and all his hair's coming through it, and it's just, he's getting nuts. That's awesome. And I must say, I'm not a Harry Potter fan by any stretch. But I remember my missus and kids liked the movies, so I had to take them to the pictures, and he made it watchable, in fairness. I'm just going to strengthen this colour down the peaks a little bit. There we go. I like the fact that people were putting on, if you start watching it this time of night, Hans Gruber will fall off the building at the stroke of midnight. So again, we're just hitting those peaks. Leaving the valleys, that original purple colour. As you see, we're already starting to build up. Just nip around a couple. There we go. Oh. See, I saw the other night a rerun of, is it Dynasty that Michael Prey got poached by? And I hated that program for that fact that they stole Robin Hood. Jason Connery was good, but I think Michael Prey ones are better. But then again, I think the series, the writing in the first series was better as well. I think it was a bit more Celtic mythos, wasn't it, really? Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, you can see that those blends haven't really worked for us. So what we'll do, let's grab the warm skin shade from Mr. Blanche. If you've not seen this one, this is warm skin shade from the John Blanche, which is, the wash is almost as similar to their old flesh wash, which is when they stop making for some reason. But this will blend these in nicely for us. Or if you've not got the wash, what you could do is with the mid-tone that we used, make it into a wash with your medium, or if you have to with water. And then just go over it with that, because it will have a very similar effect as long as you thin it enough. And there we go. Yeah, I just love the Wayland reference, because Wayland Smithy's about 20 minutes away from my house, near the Effington White Horse, which is one of old. We used to go walking around there a lot when we were kids, so I love all that. The idea of Herne the Hunter and yeah. So now I'm going to go start with our true reds, which is the Dragon Red. And in time. Oh, an hour in. That's not bad for an hour's work, is it? We're going all right. Again, thin this with the medium. I want to come down these peaks, but anywhere where there's a fold or there's a bit of shadow on it. And see, I'm just starting to go down the side of the peak there, but not a lot. Because you want those first two purpley colours in there. Then I'm going to thin it out with medium. And I'm going to come away from the saddle and work back. And stop before I get to the tail. I'm just forming that shape, you see? See where the wet is wet, or I've been and down the peaks, leave the valleys. But that medium is doing all the heavy lifting with this blend. You can see, because I've thinned that paint. I'll show you how thin it is. You see my nail through? Can't really see on that light. You see the paint's very, very translucent. I had that the other week. Oh yeah, it was with Rich's epic mantic warpath stuff. I think it took me longer to prep it all out than it did paint it. I think it took me best part 2 days just to cut it all off sprues. Just starting to work that high now. That's where it starts looking red rather than purple. Again, if you're not going to do as many different layers, what you can do is do what similar to what we did with the horse flesh. So you see it with a red wash. Hide these blends. I'll have to do some more paint, because when we first started the channel, we were doing a lot of that. So I'll have to pick some kind of rabble to paint, so we can do some quick paint jobs. Watch when your brush is very wet and there's chainmail around. If you so much as dink on it, the chainmail will just pain in the butt. Working round. Okay. So I just wandered around that second time just to strengthen up my highlights. I'll start at the top there, so I'm going to really put lots of medium in there. I'm just looking for the peaks. Happy New Year, Ben. How goes it, shipmate? Ah, yeah, I've had. I lost track of what days, as people do. I mean, I'm not. I'm not the most switched on to what day of the week it is anyway. And to have just Christmas fall as it did, and my birthday, I just lost track. And so, apologies for the last two. Last two I missed. One was somebody reminded me about 10 minutes before, and I thought, oh, sugar, I've got nothing prepped up. I think that's when I did the walk around, didn't I? I'd done the walk around with the Peru's nest. It's quite cool down there. Still opening to visitors and stuff, but I'd say people give me a shout, because then I tend to leave if I know something's coming up, I tend to leave the dog at home, because he's such a pain in the butt with new people who just everything takes twice as long because you won't let anyone get on with anything. But hey ho, it's all good fun. Okay, let's take up another red highlight. Let's go to pure red. Again, we're going to thin this right out. And then we're going to go right down the centre of our highlights. Okay. Work around. Keeping this nice and thin. I think the trick is when you're layering up highlights is don't go mad. Just nice and thin. Take it easy. Keep calm. You can always get around another time. If it gets a little thick there, just get a bit of medium. Take it out on your pad. Just thin it out on the miniature. Just move it around. There you go. Yeah. I didn't bring him back up tonight because where it's quite cold out. I didn't know. I've got metal steps that come up to the crow's nest, and he tends to run up them. So I didn't want no doggy accidents just before we went on. So my apologies. I've actually set myself a little paint desk up at home, so I might do a next week if it's as cold as I might do it from my house, which is quite interesting because I've got different paints, so that's always nice. I've got a mixture of Vallejo and Reaper and all the odd paints that were kicking around at the time. I grabbed them all and took them all home. I set up a little home paint desk just for when I fancy it. So maybe do a special from there next week and use a limited palette. Just so the dog can have a snore on camera. Okay. Now we grab Grey Castle. Make sure your brush is super clean. Bit of nice bit of medium in there. Put a bit of water down there. I don't want to lift the red off, but I just want to tidy that grey up next to it. There is. I don't think you'll see on camera. There was a tiny little bit of red still in my brush. There's not any more. Let that bit dry. There must have been a tiny little bit of red. It was still a bit wet. Yeah, the whole crew's here. Well, except the ship's dog, which has been mentioned. Yeah. Did anyone grab the Griffin Beast Krampus miniature? I think I was there the day before they had him in, otherwise I would have grabbed one. I'll go back and finish that. I can wait because I think there was a bit of red that hadn't quite completely dried, and I didn't want to bugger up my first layer of, which is going to be white. So sometimes if you can't tidy it up by washing away, etc., sometimes you just got to come back to it. So the more you fiddle, the worse you'll make it sometimes. Yog. Mm-mm-mm. So let's have a look. I want to use some of our secret weapon, Bird Umber Model Air. It's got some little tiny bits of leather work. I just want to touch him with that. So I'm just going to do, there's some straps on the back of his leg. And I just like this because it's very thinned up paint already. Let's do the Is it cinch? Kinch? I can't remember. I'm not a horsey person, but the belly strap. What do we do there? The stirrups in that as well. I don't know that, mate. He's about doing his saddle this colour as well. Just because I really do like this brand. It's a magical paint, to be sure. Okay. Grip of his sword. Just seeing if I've missed any straps or anything. I can just zap with this. Nope. The reason I got this out was he's got leather pants on with studs. overshoot this. Wash that off quick. I have to stand up in a sec. My lower shoulder has just started cramping a bit. I have to swing my arm about. I'm thinking about black for his saddle, or his tack. Is that the word? Probably. Oh, pardon me. It's really weird. I put all these into a tray together, the painted ones, and then didn't put the shields in there. So that's going to be a heck of a hunt to find them wherever I buried them. Let's just stretch out my shoulder a sec. Talk amongst yourselves while I stretch my shoulder. Aha. Right, let's see if we can carry on for a bit. Gargoyle grey. Okay, to shake your paints. Shake your booty. Okay. Bit of medium in there. And we're going to start raising this grey up. So again, we're going to use all of the peaks. Leave the valleys. Leave right against the red there. A bit more medium. Be quite thick at the top because obviously that's going to be the lightest. And just down the peaks, leaving the valleys. Any we get wrong, we're going to wash straight off. And then when I go to the other side, let that dry a sec. Top edge. Yeah. Come back around to this side. Top edge. Not too close to the red. Circle those high peaks. Because it's only our second white, we can pretty much cover the initial layer mostly up. It should only be left in the very darkest places, in the darkest folds. The darkest folds. Next we got is Great Hall Grey. And these, I mean, they are, I mean, you need free paint, really free blends. So just pick where you want to get to, then work backwards from there, really. If that makes sense. So this one, we're going to go down there. Down the peaks. Keep that medium going in. Across the top, it's quite heavy. They call these greys, but they're more of a olivey kind of greeny grey, if you know what I mean. Whereas if you want the grey, there is a grey scale one. Take the greys all the way up to the white, or there's more of a grey based. No, this is the grey based. This is the grey based white, so like an olive grey. Maybe. Then you've got a brown, kind of fawny coloured triad. And then you've got the greys, which go up to like a very light grey, which is almost white. That makes sense? I think so. Keep working that. So the Great Hall Grey. This is worn stone, which is in the whites. I usually start with worn stone, in fairness. Because it's a nice beigey, like you'll see as this one goes on. You may not see on camera actually, because the whites are rubbish on camera. So I'm keeping the medium going, so we get a nice smooth. Remember when we're just at the peaks, staying out of the valleys now. Just remember now, you're not going at any edges that are not in the light. So, whereas breastplate, you're not going into that bit under there, and there you're just going on the bottom edge. Across that edge there, up there. That's it. You see how that white's kind of got a creamy look to it. water again. So this is our brain matter beige. Which is just an off-white, basically. It's got a bit of yellowy grey in it. I'll kick the camera, sorry. I'm going to start at the back again. A bit more medium. I don't think the one on the triads after this is a pure matte white. I think we'll leave that off. So we leave it just like an off-white. Just mooching around the miniature. Making sure it looks good. You see those shadows are naturally painted in now. Which is cool. Nice. Next, what we shall do is, I don't usually use matte black, but I think we're going to. Because no one's here to stop me. Oh, pardon moi. So, hoofy hoofs. Eyeballs. Horse's eyeballs. Black. The funniest thing is when you see horses' eyeballs painted white with a black dot in them. Or you paint them black, put a white gleamy dot in them, which if done right actually looks really nice, but I think you're tempting the chaos gods to make your horse look completely googly. So I tend to just paint their eyes black. You can argue that they should be brown with a black spot, whatever, but just paint black. Unless you don't want to, then you're on your own. I've got no advice for you. Okay, I've done one of his trouser legs in brown. You didn't tell me, guys. You wait and see if I spotted it before the end of the miniature. Cheers, gang. Mm. Tend to do all the strapping on there and this brown as well. I'm going to do that. It's my soul. Changing the brown between the horse flesh and the leather. Zooming off picture there, am I? Sorry, guys. It gives a nice gentle contrast in the horse flesh colour. Yep. And then we'll give him a black saddle. So I don't really use black on minis much. I do prefer using different. But this black, what I tend to do is to thin it out in the bottle, so when I'm using it like this, it's over top of a zenithal undercoat. It tends to, if you thin it just a little bit more than it is at the moment, it kind of mottles a mottle effect. It's sort of like your old heavy metal t-shirts. I'm here to find RT. Good luck, Legio. Did I miss a T? Or have you done a typo? You did throw me for a moment there. Well, in fairness, after speaking to Dr. Bob. First of all, I couldn't decide. These are the front rank minis, and I think these horses are a little bit late. Well, they're late 100-Year War, so they are 100-Year War, but most of the ones I see are pretty unbarded for the main part. But they don't look as good, do they? So these are very much a rule of cool and not historically accurate at all. But that's how I roll, in fairness. This is the French retinue, my French retinue mounted for ecorcheurs, which is, again, fancy skirmish, a story based one. Yeah, you can change the horses and select the guys with the right helmets if you want to go into it that much. As you know, Rich, I'm quite happy to have orcs running around on the table. So I always think when I painted the Sword Point 100-Year War book, they were all front ranks, and I got all the heraldry from the Agincourt roll, if you know what I mean. And then made a load up as well. I think as long as you've got the feel right, and the good thing about it is if you leave them a bit generic, you could use them as other things as well. So you could use them because you're telling a story in the ecorcheurs. You can pretty much use anything for anything as long as it looks right. Yeah, I've got some in the shop here, and they're so nice to paint. When you've got miniatures that have been sculpted this well, they're just a joy. They just really just paint to life so easy. These ones are hiding back here because these are the ones we did on the other videos. As you see, rule of cool. I must find some shields for these guys tomorrow. Okay, let's. Yeah, these were this was the French mounted retinue from the ecorcheurs retinue. So I think there's 4 more in here. Yeah, Claymore Coasters are nice. Where do we want? Some ancient stone. Oh, first of all, let's paint Horsey's hoofies. More black anywhere on him, so I'll try and avoid it. Use that one. Use ancient stone, which is from the pale olive brown, which is from the light neutrals, which is the other whites I was talking about. This, instead of going to up to matte white, this one goes to like an off yellow sandy white. I just thought it'd be good for his tail. I just dropped a bit of medium in that. I dipped into the beige a bit then, so I just mix it up with the. That's better. That's better. I think someone's getting a bit tired. Been a long, long day. I'm not sure. I think so. But scoops. The crew of knowledge. There we go. So now we grab greedy gold, because we always do greedy gold on camera. Yeah, I was so gobsmacked when they took the photographs for the Sword Point 100-Year War book. and they put all the armies together. I couldn't believe, and they zoomed in for particular shots for the book. I couldn't believe when they were taking the photographs of how many different expressions, even amongst like the bowmen, for instance, they just all look different. And I think it's just front rank seem to have. There's so much paint on them. You know what I mean? There's so much room to paint. It's when you're painting a Games Workshop miniature, there's lots of detail there, but you've got to follow the detail, as it were, you know? Yeah. You looked at them when they're all kind of photographed together, and it was like thinking, that one looks like he's having an argument with that guy. Do you know? And you're thinking, that's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I like, my favourite barbarians were always the cobblestone barbarians were my first favourite box set. There's barbarian giants. Which are in my shop at the moment, all painted up, ready to go. Just adding a bit of flash. The rest have got a lot of flashy gold bits on. We've got to go back into the gunmetal at the moment because it's kind of, we dulled it off with the black wash. So yeah, they're nice as well, aren't they? Well, there's some of his 15mm stuff's absolutely wicked as well. This is just fancy pants them up a bit. Blimey. I think, will Nick Hare have any? Cobblestone castings. If you look that up, I think, I can't remember if Foundry have got them or whether Nick Hare has them or whether Cobblestone's got themselves. Oh, actually, no, tell a lie. They were sculpted for grenadiers. So if you go to Merleton, you can still buy them. Yeah, there's two, isn't there? Merleton. So you've got those elves as well, isn't there? There's the same era elves. was trying to remember who else had them, because I've seen them at conventions as well. They've got the mounted ones, which weren't ever released over here, but they've got the molds for them now. Would that be Forlorn Hope cubes? I see at a show, because it's not Merliton, is it? Are they Italian Merliton? Okay. Nice. Yep. Certainly is. Certainly getting to that time, I think. I think we're about there for this evening. Ah, it's pumice. It's I use a neutral pumice, so I can paint it whatever colour I like. So obviously that's the finished. Oh, let's keep with the light. It keeps all my bases nice and standard. The pumice I use is, if I can find the pot, I will show you. Oh. I buy it on Amazon, but I'm sure it's available other places. Pipio. I think it just says neutral pumice on the listing. Pipio. It's quite a nice neutral one to work with. And because it's that neutral, I used to use the Vallejo. It's very similar to the Vallejo one. I used to use the Vallejo black one, but obviously, I'll show you. Is it? Yeah, the base is dry. The reason I use neutral is because I dump all the old brown paints in here and then put medium in it, and keep it really thin. So if you look at the paint, it's pretty thin, yeah. And then when you dump it on the base, because it's so thin, this pumice shows through nicely. So it almost highlights itself. So when I'm doing a big batch of miniatures, I just do that. It saves a lot of time with dry brushing. You can be fussier if you like, but where I've got to paint so many miniatures, I needed a solution that made a standard base that I could give to a customer. And if they wanted to do any extra to it, like from there you could, put a wash into it or paint a different colour. The other thing is, when I'm doing sort of modern 40k stuff or whatever, you put it on there and you can just do the same with grey. And all of a sudden you got, there we go. And what I do is at the end of a paint session, any browns I've got on the wet palette, I scoop into that pot. Then whatever medium's left in my palette, I scoop that into the pot. So yeah, cheerful. That was a long answer for a short question, wasn't it? Yeah. I just needed something to standardise everything, really. And then all I do is I paint a black victory lap around the bottom, tidy it all up. It just means if somebody's buying miniatures from me or I'm painting miniatures for them, they know they're going to get a standard. Yeah, well, that stuff I think is a slightly bigger pot than the Vallejo pots. This is 250. I think Vallejos are 200s. Well, they were, but again, it's best not to have the paint in there because you just paint it yourself. There we go. Right, where are we coming up to? We got 2 hours, 10 minutes. Well, I think they're going to call that for tonight. Let's have a decent. So what I'll do, obviously I've got to do the highlights to his armour and his lance. You can see what he's left to do. So he's not quite as there as this guy. This guy is a bit further along the trail. I'll find their shields tomorrow. A little bit more work, and so they can match. Yeah, it's very similar, but it's have a look on Amazon for it. It's Pebio. It's the same company that makes the matte medium I use as well, which is an excellent buy. I think about £8 the matte medium, and that lasts me a year. Well, compared to like Lamia medium, you're talking, what was it, £4 a pot, £3 a pot, I don't know, which is tiny. And I make it up in, I make my matte medium up in pots like that. And and then it lives in my, oh no, my pirate dropper's at home. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, there's if you look through to the start of the channel, oh, not the standing end, sorry guys. If you look to the start of the channel, there's a really short video on how I make the matte medium up, if you've not seen it. And that's Pebeo stuff as well. Give that a look. Give that a look. Right, guys, I'm going to call it a night or a day or whatever. And I'll finish them off at my leisure. Thank you guys for joining me. That was, and we can get back into the swing of it soon. Cheers, dude. Okay, and guys, well, if you're watching this back and you've not dropped a subscribe and a like and a share and hit the notification bell and all that jazz, that'd be really helpful. Also, if you could jump across my other channel, Pirate Rich Plays, and do the same there. We're going to kickstart that one off again soon, as well as everything else I'm doing soon. All right, guys, cheers, cubes, and we'll see you all soon, and see some of you soon at the Crow's Nest. Cheers, and guys, find us on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, walking down the street, that sort of thing. Cheers, guys. I'm going to see you soon.